and start. What we're going to do today is on my smartboard, we're going to go ahead and create a section view of this object right here. So once again, first thing we need to do is create the front view. You guys should know how to create a front view already. All we need to do is go ahead and bring down lines out of the top view and over from the right side view to create the front view. Now keep in mind that as I'm drawing, I'm covering up my light, so I cannot necessarily draw straight lines. But it'll be good enough that you guys get the idea. So right now I just brought in a few of them. I want to start with something simple. That way I don't confuse myself down the road. I'm going to bring this over. This is going to be the bottom of the object. Ooh, that is really crooked. Let's go ahead and straighten that one out a little bit. Let's get it at least halfway close down the line. And I'm going to bring over the top of the object here. Okay, so I know that my box is going to fall within this right here. And we can see, looking at the front, that we're going to basically see a box. So right there, over, up, and over here. The only thing sticking out of the top of my box is the cylinder that sticks up right there. So that's the next thing I'm going to project down in here to deal with. And I'm going to go ahead and, I guess I can deal with my head lines later. And the height on that is right here. So I could go ahead and darken that in. So I'm just building this like a normal front view. Later on I'll come into sectioning. So I've still got some hidden lines to deal with. I've got this groove right here that I've already projected my lines down for. Its depth is right here. So I could go ahead and make those all hidden lines. And my cylinder drops down to that same height. So right there's the hidden lines for that. I also have a hole that goes through it right there. It goes from the hidden lines down through. So I'm going to project those down. Small objects do not project well when you can't draw straight lines. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw those as hidden going straight down so I don't have to draw over a green line. Then I've also got this funky groove thing right here that only goes down until this depth right here. We can see that it doesn't go all the way through because it's wider than our hole. We can see that it only goes down to that depth right there. So I'm going to draw that down. And I'll bring it down through here. And then all I'm going to do is project over, green line marker so we can see. And that's going to come from the top. Oh, that's not the top. This is the top here. From the top all the way down to where that green line came across. And right there would be our normal front view. The black lines would be our normal front view. Can everyone differentiate the black lines from the green lines? Kind of understand what's going on? Sure. I can start cleaning it up a little bit if I want to get my construction lines out of there. That way you can see it better. My finger's going to be all green at the end of the day, oh well.
And away he goes.
That better?
Yep. Thanks.
Hopefully you can see what the object looks like. Now, when we section, we add another layer to this. So we're cutting across right here. So if you think about cutting across this object, we're going to go ahead and cut through the middle of it here. Then we're going to cut down the side. It goes through the center of our hole there. So it's going to come down diagonal here. It's going to cut through the middle of our cylinder. It's going to cut through the middle of this other groove we have. So if we're thinking about cutting material, we can see that I'm going to switch colors here so that I can put in my section lines. But we're going to have to convert hidden lines to object because we're cutting through all the features that we have in this object. We can see that we're going to end up cutting. I'm going to convert these over now. So since we're cutting through every object, I'm going to go ahead and convert all of them to object lines. If we were not going through every feature, let's say that there was another hole back here. Since it's behind our object, so let's put a hole back here. Since it's behind our cutting line, it would disappear because we have no hidden lines in a section view. So we would just get rid of the hidden lines down here. If it was in front of our cutting line, we are removing everything in front of our cutting line to show our section view, so it would once again disappear. So only things that are on our cutting line do we deal with. Now I can see that I'm cutting through material here up until that hole. So I would section that. Section usually is just 45-degree angle lines. And there's my hole. I am cutting through the middle of my hole, therefore I'm not cutting material in the hole. Because it's a hole, no material to cut. I'm not going to cut material in that groove. Once again, there's a groove there. So if I was actually sawing, there would not be material to cut there. Now, we are cutting through this peg, which stands upright. I'm going to get rid of the black line that runs through there because we're actually cutting through this material. That would be a hidden line behind the peg. So right there would go ahead and be that section as well. I'd also get rid of that black line right there. And right there is what the section view of this would look like. We cut through this side of it. There's the hole we don't cut through. We cut through that in the peg. Then we don't cut through that groove, which is right here. And we cut all the way through this material over here. Questions on how I section that? Making a little more sense than it did before I demonstrated, hopefully. Okay, you can go ahead and